Okie dokie. So, guys, how have you been? How has everything been with your action plans? For some of you, it was really short ago that we had a little chat. For example, Sanya was at the mastermind gathering. So I'm very much looking forward to hear what has been done the past few weeks, and in case of Sanya also what has been done after the mastermind, maybe some competitor research already. So very much looking forward to your updates. So who would like to start and start sharing? Please give me a hand raise if you would like to start. Okay, I see no hand raises. Okay, then we're just going to hand pick you one by one and start from there. So I'm going to start unmuting Kalpit. Hello, Kalpit. And make sure that on your side the sound is also unmuted.
I mean, what we had thought, we have thought of a company name, and because even when we do Facebook or try to get the logins, if we're trying to set up an email or web page, just tell you
I think I heard Kavita.
So I'm not sure if we have been able to set up the name. I'm hoping that we don't have problem with getting same name there.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. I think
I know, but I'm saying is when you say that company house may not allocate that name if somebody else already have that name. Okay. Does that mean
Okay, so I see Kalpit typing, sorry my microphone is not working, but for some reason I heard Kavita. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Okay, so your mic is not working, then feel free to type out what your progress has been in the last few weeks, where you've done the things that were on your action plan, and if you have any questions as well, and then we cover it through that way. Maybe in the meantime, try to find an external mic and then be able to plug it into your laptop to be able to share. Now, I did see another hand raised from Habib, so I'm going to unmute Habib now so he can start his share. Hello, Habib.
Hello, Tjibaria, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing? Oh, now I hear nothing anymore.
My business plan.
Congratulations on finishing Business Systems Mastery and getting your certificate.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was a fantastic period.
Nice, and it was also really nice to see. And just to see the growth in you throughout the days is really, really nice. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice.
Okay. You know, we spoke about my business plan, and
yes,
you were saying that for what I'm trying to do, I don't really need to have a business plan straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but what I got back early hours of this morning from from Lincoln. Our train was delayed, so yeah, I've been very, very tired. But on the other, all I've done this morning today has been I've been trying to get hold of the three. You know, I told you about the 3 people who I was able to get from. I got 8 people from the funnel that I created. I got 8 responses. So I sent out a survey. You know, I told you I was going to send out a survey to them because I felt that coaching is unique, not generic. So I can find out where their pain is, a little bit things about them before we go into the free coaching session or consulting session as it may be. Only 3 people responded to that survey. So I spoke to the 3 of them.
3 people responded to the what?
The survey. You know, I sent them a survey. I sent the 8 people who responded to
the survey,
to the a survey, just to get us some more information about them. Out of the 8 of them, only 3 people responded to the survey. So I actually booked appointments with all 3 of them. Only 2 of them turned up for the appointments. The 3rd person, I'm still trying to get hold of him to rebook the appointment.
I see. Nice.
So I spoke to the 2 of them. They were happy to come on board. I gave them my prizes, and well, I made the mistake which Pete was just telling us during that we shouldn't make that kind of mistake again, you know. And which Eric also told us about it. Tell them to go home and think about it. We should close them on the spot. So
yeah.
They hadn't got back to me before I went for the BSM program. So this morning, well, after trying to close my eyes for a bit, I've been on the phone calling them. I've just been leaving messages after message after message. In fact, I'm supposed to call somebody else, but I said, look, let me get on the program and speak to you first before I go back to call the person again. So what my plan is to just continue to call them until I get them to close the deal. Yeah. At least the two of them. The third person, I've left messages for the third person over and over again. I'm going to continue to do that. And hopefully before the week runs out, well, I'm hoping that there will be good news that at least one of them will close. Okay. At the same time, I've made a bit of improvements to my Facebook page. I spoke to Shannon. Shannon was we were on the BSM together. And that's his field. He's into digital marketing. So when I showed him my Facebook page, he pointed one or two things to me that, oh, Habib this, Habib that, and I looked at it, and as soon as I got in this morning, I made the changes to it so that it reflects what we're trying to do. At the same time, taking on board what I learned from Eric there, you know, about my business, adjusting my business again. I made that addition to it on the Facebook page. You know, so it's not just I'm not just working with startup entrepreneurs. I'm also looking at people who are looking for growth in their business, where I can bring in the idea of franchising to them. Yeah. So I've included that in the services I give. Like I can identify. Also this afternoon, I've identified at least 4 people I know who have businesses that I think they're struggling with growth. So from tomorrow, my job is to give them calls to see how we can meet up and how I can give them that offer. That
nice, really nice.
Somebody to grow your business. So that's where I am. Then I know I told you that I was going to get, I was looking for another lead magnet, which is supposed to be a webinar, which I told you about, if you recall. I've completed the slides, but, and I've subscribed to a website that does webinars. So I want to do a trial run, something.
Which website is that?
Then what's it called? Easy Webinar. It's called Easy Webinar. So Easy Webinar. Easy Webinar.
I've never heard of it.
Okay. Yeah, I just Googled and I saw them and they said, well, since it was free, you know me, I try and leverage on the free products as best as I can. So my plan is that I should be able to do that this weekend, and I'll send it to you so that you can look at it, critique it, and let me know whatever mistakes I make, so that we can work on it. So that's where I am at the moment.
Really nice. Okay, good. I want to give you a few points of feedback. So when it comes to following up with customers, one thing that you do have to how do you say be aware of is that when you are constantly following up with them, at some point they may also think, oh, this person is too wanting to be me to become their customer. So to also make sure to, whenever you follow up with them, whether it's through emails or through messages, that you keep it light, and also that it is that that you do not sound desperate to get them as your client. No, obviously, you do want to follow up with them, but the way how you can then go about it is say, okay, we have had our meeting, and for this thing that I offered, I only have several spaces left. There are still a few spaces left, but you have to act fast, because I don't know for how long I can hold the spaces. Let me know if you are interested. Something along those lines, and then you. It's more that you know how to secure your spaces, or that you're not desperately waiting for this person to come on board, but that there is still a space free, which is true. And if they want to grab that space, they have to act fast, because you're on it and you're gonna get your people on your program anyways. So they have to act fast, but do also give them a limiter. And just to go into that a little bit deeper, I remember at the Q&A, Eric was speaking about it. So let's say you have your sales call with people, or your sales meeting with people, and during the sales call or during the meeting, you feel that someone's not completely certain if they want to go for a certain program or not, then it could be that during that conversation, they do want some extra time. And they do want to maybe talk to a partner, to parents, to whoever it is that they want to talk to, or just give it a little bit more of a thought. So if that is the case, you have to make it clear that there is a limiter. And you have to plan in something that is called an urgency call. So let's say I'm speaking to someone over the phone, and I'm just explain what the package is about, and I say, okay, so this is, are you ready to grab this opportunity? Something like that, I would say. And then this person says, well, actually, I'm not quite sure, and you feel that this person is backing out. Then what you need to do is also push them away and say, okay, you know, I only have a few spaces left, and there's only a limited amount of time, and you have to obviously know why there's a limited amount of time, or why you only can take a number of people on board. But then what you do is you push them away and say, okay, that's fine, by all means speak to whoever you want to speak to, but I cannot guarantee that there are still spaces, there will still be any spaces left. But let's do this. I will do my best for you, and let's plan a call. So I'm going to give you a call on, let's say today it's Monday, so I'm going to give you a call on Wednesday at 9 p.m. or 10 a.m. Is that okay? Are you available at that time? And then while you are planning that urgency call, you the reason why that is good is because you stay in control, and there is a you do give them a little bit of space, but you also know that this is then the date that they have to make up their mind. If they don't make up their mind for that, then you know it's a waste of your time. You don't have to keep on trying. But also by putting that out there in that certain way, they also feel like, oh, so if I want to grab this opportunity and work with this man, I have to make sure to take that action, because otherwise all spaces are going to go. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, it does. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Because otherwise you're going to continue to let's say message, and then you come across as if you're desperate, but that's not at all what you want to come across as. Yeah. So that's important. Another thing as well, do you already have set up your database and your email system?
I have I have an email system. I have a database, yeah, from the I have a database of emails from my contacts on my email. I have a database of phone numbers from my contacts on my phone, and I have a database of emails, names from my contacts on WhatsApp.
Okay, I see. And are those all business-related contacts?
Well, it's general. I'm still going to try and have to split them into business contacts.
Okay. So one thing that you need to go and do is create your professional database for your business.
Okay.
And one of the good platforms to start out with is MailChimp. It's a free service, and you can build up. MailChimp. Let me type it out to all of you. So if people are not do not yet have a mailing system, MailChimp is a very decent one. So I'm just sending it to all of you now. And the starting package is free, and it goes up until 2,000 contacts, if I'm correct, and you can send around, I believe, 10,000 emails or something. I think per month or in a certain time frame, and that's very decent. And also the way how they set it up is really nice. So what you can then do is you every time you go to meetings, to networking meetings, or you go and you get business cards of people, or if you have business contacts, or these, for example, these 3 leads that have opted into your survey, those people you want to put in there, and you want to tag them. So you want to make sure that you understand that, first of all, you have to make sure that they allow you to market to them. So if, for example, you would meet someone, and let's say the way how I do it, if last time we were at the mastermind gathering here in Lincoln, and we were then going to Woodcocks, which is one of the restaurants here in the area where they also had a room where we could have a projector and everything. So that's where we then went with the whole group. And then there was a lady who works at Woodcocks that came to me and said, oh, wow, what are you guys doing? So I explained to her, well, what we're doing, we're having a mastermind meeting with our top clients, which are all entrepreneurs in different businesses, and we're here masterminding together to grow to the next level and to teach certain things in marketing, business, like the whole very light sales talk, but something that keeps someone interested. And then at the end I said, are you interested as well? Would you like to join us maybe? And then she said, yeah, I think that would be really cool. And said, well, we have an event coming up, which is Superpower Live. And then the first question that I asked her before making any offer or whatever, I say, are you free on the dates 1, 2, and 3 of December? Because before making any offer, let's say it is for an event or it is for something that has a specific date, like, for example, a webinar that you want to do, you want to make sure that they cannot use, oh, I cannot make it as an excuse. So the first thing you want to do is take that out of the way. So I said, hey, are you free on those dates? And then they say yes, because they give the most honest answer if they can or cannot make it. And then after they say, so if they say yes, say, oh, perfect, because we have an event at that date, and I can actually issue you a free ticket or a sponsored ticket depending on what the offer is. And that's what I said to her. And if at that moment people, let's say, then start to doubt if they can actually, if they want to invest the money, for example, or if they want to do the registration for it, then they cannot back out because they already confirmed that they can actually make the dates. So that's a psychological trick or a way how it can be smoother in your sales to make sure that they are not allowed to make silly excuses for being able to come or not to come, and to get that first commitment. So that's what I said then to her, and then she was able to come. So I said, oh, I can actually give you a free ticket. So please give me your email address, and would you like me to send you a few emails or to keep you updated about the things that we do? And then she said, yeah, I would really like that. And then obviously I got her contact details, and I know I can market to her. Because sometimes when people, like officially according to the law, when someone gives you the phone, the contact details, you cannot just start marketing to them, but you have to actually get their consent for that. But in this case, I said, hey, would you like to be updated with the things that we do? And she says yes. So I know when I put her into my database, I can send her all the marketing emails that we have, depending on her interest, right? So that's also what you need to do. And if you bring someone into your database, and for example, it's those 3 people who opted into that survey, and that survey was about which phase of their business they are in, then you can already, when you put them in, you can tag them. So you put basically a label on them saying that they're interested in business, or they are startups, if this survey was specifically for startups. Okay. And then when you have a specific campaign coming up, for example, a webinar for startups, then you can look at your list and say, I'm going to select all the startups and I'm going to send an email which is specifically for them, because then it's relevant. Whereas if you have a whole list, let's say you have a database of 1,000 people where half of them are startups and half of them are already business owners that are so long in business and they are quite experienced. If you then send an email to all of them saying, hey, startup, this is what I can do for you during the webinar, I'm going to talk about this, this, and that, then the people who are already in business think, why are you sending me this? Because I'm already in business. It's not relevant, and they might click the opt-out button, right? So that's why whenever you bring new contacts into your database, you want to make a little note, which is called tagging, or putting them in specific lists, such as is done in MailChimp, and then you can really understand who these people are and how you can serve them best. Just like what Pete said at the end of the Q&A, it's really important to ask the right questions, and therefore, whenever people, let's say, opt in to a specific lead magnet, that's like a question, because they have opted in for a specific interest, which is just as if I would have said to them, are you interested in starting your business? Or another lead magnet could be seen as a question, are you interested in franchising your business? And by opting in, they obviously show, yes, I am interested in that. And you know what you can then deliver to them. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does. It does.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Tjibaria.
No problem at all. So what are you currently using for your website?
I don't have a website yet. I just use a Facebook page.
The Facebook page. But you did have something where you put the survey on, I saw.
Yeah, the survey. Used the Survey Monk quick survey. I used quick survey, and I sent it through. I sent the link. I have a software called SetMore, which I use for setting up appointments. So if I add your name to if I add your name to my clients on the SetMore, the SetMore will automatically send the clients an email. So what I did is I put the link with the notes. So the SetMore sent the notes, the link to the client. So all they do is they click on the link, and the survey comes up, and they answer it, and they send it through. So I will go to the back end to pick up I use I'll go back in, and I'll pick all the responses, and I can put it into a spreadsheet.
Okay. Right, I see. So that process you want to replace by making use of MailChimp now. So whenever people opt into something, you don't want to put the details in a spreadsheet, but you want it to automatically go into MailChimp, so that whenever it comes in MailChimp, you can already have automatically send them an email so that they are updated. Are you coming to launch your business in 5 days next month?
No, unfortunately, we spoke about it. I told you I have a family engagement.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's really, really crucial for your business, because you are really on it, and you are constantly improving, making all the changes that you have to make. And I see this is really crucial for you to now put the right free software in place, such that you can actually maximize and get more speeds and get those clients in. Okay, so let's do this, because launch your business is not going to be possible for you, but I really want you to get those results. Maybe we plan in a half-an-hour Skype call, so I can check out what it is that you're doing and how you are setting it up, what is the software that you're using, and then I can recommend you how you can make the improvements there, because I really want you to get a few clients in by next call. So let me just check my calendar. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm flying to Vietnam on Saturday, so I think it would have to be from Vietnam. Let's see. I think maybe even the day that I land. The day that I land, or from one of the airports where I'm done waiting. So let's discuss that through email, and then we can pick a date to have this meeting, because the sooner the better. But until that meeting, I want you to send me all the different pages and different things that you have made and have made use of. So I want you to send me your Facebook page, your personal. Obviously, I'm friends with you, but your business page. I want you to send me a survey that you created. I want you to send me that thing that you're using for planning in meetings or planning in your calendar. And I want you to check out what MailChimp does. So go and install MailChimp, get yourself registered for it, and maybe check out some of the training videos that they provide, or on YouTube. A lot of the times these platforms have training videos on YouTube, so that you're already a little bit familiar with it. And what I want you to do is send me the overview of what your package includes right now, and also what you're selling it for. Yeah, so then we're gonna completely break it down and get all the tools in place. Basically, I'm gonna give you advice on how you can put the tools in place so that you can really actively go call people, get people in your database, and then close some deals. Okay, great. So if you can then
we'll get that if not tonight, first thing tomorrow morning.
Nice. That's why I know that this is going to be good, because you're really on it. So if you can send it to me to tjibaria@hacademy.com.
Yeah, I have your email address, I have everything. Call your email.
And then we can pick a date when we can have our Skype call. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Habib. See you.
See ya.
Okay, nice. Kalpit. Oh, I see. Kalpit was saying, Sorry, Tjibaria, I had a phone call from somebody. I'm back now. Oh, no problem at all. And my microphone had some issues. Hopefully it's working again. Okay, great. So let's put it to the test. I'm going to unmute Kalpit. Hello, Kalpit?
Hi, Tjibaria. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Oh, there's a lot of echo.
Oh, hang on.
Okay, I think this is better.
Hi, Tjibaria. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, this is perfect.
Oh, it's better.
How are you?
Okay. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Let's see. Hang on. Sorry, I'm just.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Great. Okay.
So I'm just going through my notes, and I see that I do not have any notes on you. So is it possible that
this is our first? Yeah, this is the first one. Yeah, this is the first one. I mean, I attended the last one, but I didn't get an opportunity to have a word with you.
Okay. So welcome. Really nice to have the chance to speak to you. So I want to ask you first of all, if you can just introduce yourself to the group, tell me what it is that you do, and tell the group what it is that you do, what goals you want to reach, and also how you can add value to the rest of the people in the group. So if you just want to give that introduction to everybody.
Sure. Hi everyone. My name is Kalpit. Now, basically, I'm actually my current role is I work as a customer service engineer work on the medical equipments and work for Siemens. And I'm just obviously I'm working all 7 days, so just want to cut down on time and spend some good family time, and that's basically one of the reasons I want to start something within like a small business and those kind of things. As Tjibaria might know, my sister-in-law Kavita is on this thing as well. So we both are planning to do some little business well, at the moment we have got 3-4 plants, but we're not sure exactly where we are going. So we just wanted some sort of advice from the Master Tjibaria.
Okay, nice. So would it be useful for me to also unmute Kavita in this, and then we have this?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, she's just sitting next to me.
Oh, she's next to you. Okay, that's perfect. Then I can just keep you unmuted, because otherwise you might get some interference.
Sure.
Okay, so you say there's 4 different businesses you have in mind to start. So would you mind explaining what these business ideas are?
Right, I'm just passing the headphone to her as well, like we're just using this.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yes, very fine. Good.
I'll be talking about my physio thing a bit later, how I progressed, but just helping Kalpit's scenario as well at the minute. We were planning to take this Revelation event via us in our area, and I already been in touch with Eric in case of knowing his availability, so that he could come over to support us, him and Anthony. So our plan was, I am local in Ealing, and what we are planning to do is an event in Ealing where I could have my contacts and could have, I know quite a lot of parents from my kids' school as well. So that was my main target group I was planning to. And I actually using your win-win situation kind of thing. So wherever I'm having coffee with people, I'm trying to talk to them, utilizing that situation. And what happened, I spoke to somebody about it yesterday, and she appeared to have a lot of good contacts as well, and she is looking into getting into business side. So I invited her to become member under us, so that she's already a part of it, and then we could combine that event to make it at a bigger scale, so that time-wise, our time, venue, Eric's time, everything is more beneficial and worthwhile rather than having a small group and then arranging another group. So I'm trying to see if she wants to become a member under Kalpit or me, and then she's already a member, and then she can invite her target group as well in that event. So that's what we were thinking. So we just planning to host it for 4th of November, and after Eric said that that might be a possible day for him. Other days was not possible for him. And
okay. No. Fourth is we have another event. It's has been recently confirmed. Yeah, with OMI.
Oh, okay. Is it local or it's somewhere far?
It's in London.
Okay. And where is it?
The venue is not confirmed yet, because were you planning to do a 3-hour event or
3 to 4 hours? Yeah. Is it mine?
And it might work. It might work because it's day number 2. Could work, but it cannot guarantee because most likely Eric is also speaking on that day.
So when is that event? When is that other London event? On 4th itself?
Sorry?
The event which you think is in London, is that on the 4th itself?
Yeah, it's on, let me see, right dates. It is 3, 4, and 5. Online marketing intensive. Tim's.
Okay. Market. Oh, okay.
Tim Hans. Right.
Oh, Tim Hans event.
Hmm.
Okay. But, okay. I don't know, because when I spoke to Eric on a personal message, voice message, that time he said that was possibility. So I'll text him again to find out.
Yeah.
And then I had told him, and that talk happened only this Friday, gone 2 days ago.
Okay. Right.
So I'll speak to him again with regards to dates, because I was finalizing the venue. I was speaking to people after confirming, because weekends, none of the places were open for me to confirm the venue. So this morning I was in touch with many people. But if you think 4th might not be the possibility, I'll then drop a message to Eric first before I confirm a venue.
Yeah, definitely do that, because usually on day 2 of OMI, Eric is speaking as well. But it depends on the timing. Because
I was planning to keep it 4 to 8, like evening time, Saturday.
Yeah, okay. Then it might be difficult. But we can see. We can see. Maybe we can make it work. So which area are you? Which area did you say? Was it Ealing?
Ealing.
I'm not too familiar with.
Okay. So it's London northwest side. Yes. So that's what we were planning to do. And then we have been in discussion with Eric regarding organizing an event back home in India. I have my brother working as LIC consultant there, and he has a lot of business contacts. And he assured me that it will be easy for him to pull in people. And so he has good kind of business marketing skills. So I'm going to combine him with us in order to do that. And so he had few ideas of which group to target, how and when. So Eric was looking happy with that plan, and he said, yes, when we can do that, definitely we can talk about it and work it out. So that is something which we want to discuss, but we thought let's do in the local area, because obviously for India, we're planning to target the major cities in same trip. So obviously that has to be a more bigger planning beforehand. And being as our first thing, we thought let's start with something local where we have more support available as well. And once we see how it goes, next move would be doing it in India.
Nice. And the way how you see that going, is it in doing it in the English language, or would you rather go for the local language?
The local language. We both were talking about that, and we thought we could, as in the population who would be coming, would mostly know English, so it shouldn't be an issue to do it in English.
Major target would be
higher group
and consultants. So obviously they are okay with the communication wise, like speaking in English and understanding in English. So that shouldn't be any problem.
And then we thought if any little group who might be good business side but may not be from good literate background, for example, if we say, so we could have, like, we are available there to explain them better in our own language if needed to, along with, and so Kalpit was thinking of his event in Mumbai. I was thinking of having my event in Delhi. So that's how we were trying to club it in. So having at least 2 those events. Yeah, so that was our next move, but obviously this one we were planning to do in few weeks, so we'll see when we can get the Ealing one done, and that response and everything will also give us an idea how we're working on it.
Motivation and push.
It sounds really nice, really nice. And so let me see. Yeah, just have that extra conversation with Eric and say if it's possible on the 4th, depending on the planning for OMI. But that there might definitely be a chance for making that possible, especially because it's in the evening hours. So yeah, just see if that's a possibility, and then obviously because it's in the London area, it would also be good to have you guys have the support from local members in Northwest London, which can then lead to some really nice results.
Yes,
cool.
Sure.
And the other thing, actually, Tjibaria, we're having problems is to create our own business page on the Facebook at the moment. In terms of like, we were not really sure in terms of if we are doing this event, should we actually put it on our own personal account, or should that be on our business Facebook page? So any ideas or suggestions on that?
Usually, well, when we are doing it, most of the time it's from our personal pages, because so far it has been within the pre-launch phase, it has been more of a, let's say, the secrecy element is in it, which makes it strong as well. So that's why a lot of the time we do it from our personal pages, but it may just as well also work from a business page if that is really the business focus. And let's say you are doing those events as a business fully. In this case, I think personal page would just work fine, because it is the let's say, getting awareness for it, getting people to become interested to see your results, and it's more like person to person, and that's why I think personal page should just work fine.
Okay.
And Tjibaria, another doubt we were finding the other day, we have created kind of a template, like a PowerPoint template, which we could then put on our Facebook page. And we were struggling to get that logo from anywhere. So we just wanted to know how people, because anywhere if we are finding it on our membership site, it is coming it as a square rather than a round. So if we wanted to put that, we were struggling to, I didn't know how people have created their advertisement when they did it, because I can see many examples on that site. But if I want to pick up the round logo, I'm not able to pick up the round logo. It's coming as a square photo saved, and I'm struggling to crop it down in a circle.
I believe that all those files should be in Revelation in a circle group in the file section. Have you checked there?
We haven't checked the file section.
That's the other thing. I haven't got the access for that one at the moment, Tjibaria. I don't know if it's
That is weird. Let me just check there.
Is that where you have sent the account name and the username and password to log into the web, or that's a different thing? I don't know.
For H Academy.
Yeah.
Those are different. So do you mean for the online platforms and online courses and everything?
That's right.
Yeah, that's different. That's not.
Okay, so I haven't got the access to this tool as well for the Revelation Inner Circle.
Okay, because both of you have a machine, right?
I've received the machine, but Kavita hasn't received the machine yet.
Okay, but you both applied for it, right?
Yes,
we both have.
Let me add you to the group. Let's see. Resources. There are quite a few documents here in the file section. Yeah, I would give it a go to check there.
Okay.
And otherwise, let me see. I think it might be worthwhile to contact Marta on that. And she's always making a lot of the branding photos and everything. Either Marta or Toma, and ask them if they have the logo that you can use, the round one, because they're using it all. Yeah. So let me add to the group. Oh, it says you're already a member. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the inner circle group.
Yeah. Yes.
Let me send it to you.
Where do we search for the files in there?
Not, isn't it?
There's a files section on the side. So just have a look there. I'm not sure if it's in there, but yeah, definitely give it a go, and otherwise message Mark.
Yeah, okay. I can see you can see photos, events, files, and albums.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Cool. Nice. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Business idea number 2.
Business idea number 2 was well, I was actually thinking about this the healthcare products as well. Like there's a company called I don't know, probably you've heard about that company. It's Herbalife.
Sorry?
They do.
Herbalife?
It's called Herbalife. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do all these healthcare products and things. So I was actually planning to do like sort of join as a member, and then like sort of do. It's pretty much the same concept what we got for this energetic water. So that's the other thing I was planning to do as well.
Okay, so another.
You have registered already.
So I've registered as a member for Herbalife, but I haven't actually started yet because I haven't received the pack from them yet. So once I receive the pack, then I'll just go through it, and that's where I'm actually in the process of doing another page on Facebook for that product. But is it like, that's the other question, like, so every business I should be creating a different Facebook page, or it should be just under one?
Yeah, in principle, okay. So basically, when it comes to branding on any platform, just your brand, you can do 2 types of branding. The first type is personal branding, and the second type is company branding. So company branding is, for example, what Apple does, or what McDonald's does, or all these big corporations that you know that they have the branding for their company, which can be really, really powerful. But on the other hand, personal branding is also very powerful. If you look at celebrities or figures that, like even Steve Jobs himself as well, is really branded in his way. He always wears a similar type of clothes, or funny type of clothes, not really putting in all that effort to look very smart and all that things, but very agreeable, very outstanding in a way that he just does what he wants. That type of branding can be really, really strong as well, because people buy from people that they know, they like, and they trust. So a lot of the times the transaction does not happen with the company itself, but the people that they buy from. And especially for startups, when you are finding your customers, personal branding can be really strong, because you then establish yourself as the expert in. Now, if you, for example, look at Eric Ho's page, he does very solid personal branding, and he has his Eric Ho official Facebook page, which is a public figure Facebook page.
Okay.
And all across other different social media, he has the Eric Ho official or Eric Ho pages. But on the other hand, he also has for all his businesses the business profile as well. So for H Academy, there's a business page. For other companies as well, he has business pages. Like for H Giving, the charity, he also has separate pages. But the most important thing to realize in the beginning, when you're just starting out, is it's better to focus on one thing and do that one thing right. So to either choose for personal branding or to choose for company branding. Now, in why personal branding can be very strong in the way that Marta and Thomas, who had brand VIP as a company, had explained it to me as well, is that if you do personal branding, you are very free in showing your growth, so to speak. So let's say right now you have 2 companies that you want to set up, or you have a set of things in mind that you want to go for. But later on, maybe you stop with one company, but you form another one. That's still fine. It's not like you have to restart the whole branding. Whereas if you do company branding and you have built a brand up to a certain point where you think, okay, actually it doesn't work anymore, I want to stop this company, and you start another company, you would have to start it all again from scratch, basically, because this is no longer working. Whereas in personal branding, that's just part of the growth process. And within personal branding also, the way how you can very efficiently build up a likability or build up a consistent image for the people that you are building this relationship with is by focusing on, let's say, your 4 core elements. So four aspects that together, those 4 elements, make your unique blend. That's the way how Brand VIP always explains it. So it could be that one thing that you find important is health, which is the water and everything from MM. Another side of it could be the, let's say, beauty or health care, or different things that the herbal life can then mean something in. Another thing that is very important to you is family, so you can have that family aspect come in through your posts and in your branding. And then another thing could be, let's say, sports or something, if that's something that you like, or it could be entrepreneurship or motivation, a lot of different things. And then if consistently across the different posts that you make, you put those 4 elements to the front, people start getting this, let's say, recognition with you, and they understand, hey, this person is about this, and if I want to know more about health, then I should follow you. Or if I want to know more about, if I like that family aspect in you, I'm more keen to go and follow you and keep being engaged to the different content that you put out there.
Right. Okay.
So that's a way how you can easily make it easy for people to go and follow you and to keep that consistency there. And the reason why keeping it, for example, to 4 unique elements and keeping that consistently, by putting that consistently out there, is that if you, for example, like everything, you put everything out there, it is difficult for people to then understand, oh, this is what this brand stands for, or this is the go-to person for these things, if that makes sense. And then in the end, right now, if you look at Eric's profile, Eric is very, very, has a big variety of things that he posts, a big variety of topics that he speaks about, and therefore right now for him, as an established personal brand, it doesn't matter, he can do whatever it is that he wants. But in building it up in an efficient way, a lot of the time it can be useful to keep that as a structure while consistently building up your brand and getting that the following to understand why it is that they want to follow you, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. And if you do it that way, then it would be easy to just focus on one page, one personal brand, where you keep those different elements coming to forward. However, when it comes to just like what I said for branding, it's good to focus on one brand first or build up one page first. It's also, when going into business, it is better to focus on building one business first and not focus on too many different businesses at the same time. Because whenever you divide your focus, also the amount or let's say the quality of the things that you're building up within that business reduces as well. Whereas if you just have one thing and you focus on that one thing and continuously go out there and do the work and do the smart work, the hard work, all these things together on one topic, then you can consistently scale that and really make it work quicker than if you were to divide your focus on multiple projects. So that's why Eric always says, do put your eggs in one basket when you're starting out, and only later, when you have an established business or you have then a lot of capital that you want to then invest, then you start thinking, okay, I don't want to just put it in one thing, but I want to divide it so that you can actually grow it and also keep it safe.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Cool. Right.
Right. So, and then business number 3.
I think while talking to you, I over-exaggerated. Actually, there were just 2 or 3.
Okay. Right.
And I think the third one is Kavita's physio clinic thing. I think probably I'll leave on. You can start.
Okay, right. Yeah. Okay, so what I suggest you guys do is because you're obviously you're in it together, but I do think I very much agree with what Eric says, that if you put your focus on one thing and put everything towards that, all your focus, and get that thing to scale up, you can make it really, really successful. And obviously, MM is a very, very powerful way of building a business. It's one of the, it's a crazy way of doing business. It goes so much quicker than if you compare it to many other things out there. And that's why I thought, you know, this first idea, what you're saying, doing those events and being able to then, you know, get more awareness for it and get more people in as well in your own personal trees, that can be very, very successful. And if you do that right, and if you say, okay, right now I'm going to put all my focus on that, I'm going to first of all discuss with Eric whether he can make it to that event. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fill that room, we're going to run our first event and see how things go. We're going to practice, making sure your pitches are perfect, or that the whole organization is perfect. You have everything in line such that you can actually get a good conversion there, and then you have a solid business model, and you can continue and you can rinse and repeat and do that all over again. But if you say, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of that, and I'm going to do a little bit of the hair care products, and I'm going to do a little bit of that, of course, just like what someone was asking me at Business Systems Mastery about getting an Amazon affiliate link or getting other different affiliate accounts. It's a no-brainer, yes, to have those links or to have other things as well. And whenever you see fit, you just throw it out there as well. But when it comes to focus and you seriously think, okay, I want to get these results for a business and I want to make 100K within a year, your focus needs to be there. You need to put it all in to be able to make that work.
Right. Okay. So basically, okay. I think we'll focus on one thing as you're suggesting at the moment, and then see how it goes, and then switch over to the other one.
Yeah. I think that's definitely wise. So in terms of that, it's I would suggest you guys have that discussion with Eric and see if he can make it on the 4th, and just see if you guys can plan it in. If that would not be a possibility, then see if there's any other date you can do that for. But also, maybe if you cannot make it, you might still want to go and run it. And if that's the case, let me know, because then we can say, okay, how can we efficiently, how can we as H Academy events company share with you some tips and tricks so that you can go and fill those rooms in an effective way, and also know that if you have so many signups, then so many are going to show up, because obviously everybody can sign up to a free event, but then when more people are actually going to come, that's in the follow-up. That's very important.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, and you're both coming to launch your business, right?
Yes, we coming next month. I think it's 15th November.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so
looking forward to that.
Looking forward for it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna start some preparations for that very soon. Maybe in the next week or in the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna start it up, so you guys get to do some preparations for that as well, so you can get most out of the event.
Sure. Okay.
Nice.
Any more questions before we?
Tjibaria, before, if in case we ended up doing it ourselves, if nothing else is working out, in that case, the presentation which I had seen when I attended Revelation and or display and stuff like that. So would we have access to that?
Yeah, yeah, and if no one sends it, I can send you my presentation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can make a presentation. Okay, I thought it's a standard thing which everybody is using.
Yeah, well, I'm using the one Eric and Anthony used. So,
yes,
but
okay.
I just used it to put some things that that I thought were good to put in. So it has a few differences with comparison to what they've been using. But I'm more than happy to send it to you. No problem at all.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So let me know. Let me know if you need mine.
Yeah, sure, sure. So I'll speak to Eric, because what I was seeing today, this morning, I was phoning up different venues, but I think because it's towards the Christmas now, either due to some parties, birthday parties and things like that, the more accessible venues were taken up till beginning of December as well. So I was just thinking something was available, but I know Eric had said he wasn't available. We both were actually very keen for him to come personally, and because I really find him inspirational that way. And so he said, okay, he'll make it. And then he said, yes, 4th may work. So I need to confirm with him, because he did mention, and if it works for him, then we were planning to move out away from where we were thinking. If we can't find venue there, we might move out few minutes far from there, but still be able to get a venue somehow. That's how we were thinking. So I'll ask him what he can do, because if he can come, that will be obviously best. Otherwise we'll see what can happen.
Yeah. And do you already have someone who can do the demo, or can you do it yourselves?
No, we haven't actually thought about it.
Yeah.
In terms of demo.
I mean, I know that Eric did say that if he couldn't come, some of his team could support us by being over there. I mean, I don't mind doing it on my own, but as I said, it's the first time. I mean, as a stage fear, I don't have a stage fear. I think I can do it that way. So presenting is not an issue, but because
how inspirational that would be.
How to make it effective and efficient.
Yes, and just one more question: how big are you planning? How big a room are you planning to have? How many people?
Being honest, the invitation would be nearly 100 people, at least.
So you can fit 100 people in that room then?
No, I am booking a place where nearly and more over 50 can be seated. But what I'm saying is I have 100 people in my mind for sure, whom I'm going to send the invitations. And obviously some of them are friends and family who would definitely come. And then so I'm hoping at least, even if I think 50% people would come, I am aiming room. I have been inquiring between 60 to 80 space, so that even if maximum people are coming, we still don't have issue with sitting.
Okay.
So
great. That sounds like a good number. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sanya, by the way, was saying woo at some point, and then she said there are also people who support events, and she said you can get in contact with them. Smiley face.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Just to should I talk about? I have very little to mention about Physio World, being honest.
Okay.
Since I spoke to you last.
Do you guys have any more questions with regards to these businesses, or with regards to setting up maybe anything like email sequences, whatever, with regards to the previous mentioned businesses?
Well, we haven't got. The thing is, actually, we are actually at the moment we are trying to create the page on the Facebook, and it's just basically because we, like myself and Kavita, we haven't done this before, so we are actually struggling to find the right tool and things.
Okay. Yeah.
So at the moment, I think in
I mean,
terms of
with relation to the Facebook stuff itself, I'm not sure whether there could be a very good way of knowing that that is Facebook expert online support, and just then we could take help from that, because we find very little issues to work on, and then we may spend like couple of hours just working on that little thing. And sometimes our time is, we are investing a lot of time but coming out with very little output, purely because we are not like Facebook literate so well in terms of setting up pages or how to make things. So it took us some time to get through that process. So I have been like Googling if I had any doubt, and then seeing some YouTube video how they have done it and taking help that way. I don't know whether there is anything better official to take help from.
Well, definitely at Launch for Business, we're going to go through some of that basic things of how you can create and utilize Facebook, and then directly stepping into the higher level stuff like Facebook marketing, landing pages, and databases and everything like that. So at that event, I'm sure that you guys will be able to ask any questions or show any little thing, even sometimes in breaks. I don't mind to answer those questions. So I think that's the easiest way. For the rest, if there's any, let's say you're working on trying to get an event organized on Facebook, or open an event up, then feel free to send me a little video and say, hey, I'm trying to do this, but I can't find it. And then I'm very happy to send you a video back. So, okay, this is the instruction. Go and do this.
Okay.
That's no problem at all. So just feel free to message me. You can also do it within the Erico Superhero Academy group, because that's also one of the purposes of having that group there, is that if there's anything you're struggling with, you can post it there. And then because there are so many people in that group on different levels already within their businesses or within their marketing, anybody can jump on it and say, oh, you do it this way. So you can therefore ask a question there. That's actually the best way to ask the question there, and then whoever sees the post first can answer and say, hey, I would do it by clicking this or this button, and you can dramatically save your own time to be able to do something.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't feel how do you say it, like, oh, I should know this, or should I actually ask this question, or do I maybe come across as someone who doesn't know stuff? Don't worry about that, because at the end of the day, it's about you accelerating your path to your results, and therefore there are no strange questions. You just ask, because if you don't ask, you don't know, and you have to spend all that time.
Sure. Great. Thank you. Thanks, Tjibaria.
Nice. Okay, so then we go into the physio business?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just getting my notes up based on what we discussed last time. So where do I have my notes? Kavita. Yes, I got it. Okay. So how has it been going?
Few things. One big step I have taken is to apply for reduced hours, because I think I was struggling to even have time to work on my project with 4 long days, and then with kids commitment, and then it was just getting maddening. I was feeling as if I have ideas when I'm working and I don't have anything handy to keep putting my thoughts down, and by the time when I'm free, I sit up and I think as if I have forgotten some of the stuff. So I have so much in plate right now, going around with my personal life as well, that I was finding it hard. So I thought, anyway, in few months when I open up something, I will need a spare day to work on my clinic. So might well as apply it now, because it can sometimes take from 3 to 6 months by the time it gets agreed. So that is the one big step. I became brave to apply that, because obviously it would affect my finance to some extent, but I thought it was good investment in the beginning, because I think I'm delaying stuff purely because I'm not able to put enough time into the work I need to do. Yeah. So that was one thing I have done.
Yeah. Because how many days of the week do you now have to spend on this, or is it purely evenings and
it's
weekends?
purely evenings, and some of the evenings, like I work till 8 o'clock. So and the other days when I don't work till 8 o'clock, my husband works that long, so I'm completely with kids and their responsibilities. And then what myself and Kalpit has done is we try to get at least 2 evenings together, something like this evening, so 7:30 to 11 o'clock, sitting in one of the common place, so that we are away from the kids, because that does take a lot of attention or distraction into it. So that's what we have been like. Twice a week we definitely sit out where we can share our thoughts. We constantly on phone anyway, every day, every few hours, with calling each other and sharing our ideas. But then anything like creating page, creating business page, thinking of the name, how we getting up with the event, those detailed discussions we do in such meeting where we can come out with some outcome as well. So that's how we have been working at the moment. I should be obviously able to put more time in. It's just I was working few extra hours at my other work as well, just to compensate for the leave I had taken to go to India. So I am work-wise working 45 hours a week already, purely work, apart from traveling and everything. So that's how my routine is at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, I see. So just to get back onto the plan. So what is it that now, let's say within the next 2 months, you really want to reach for your physio business? Has that changed, or is it still the same to set up your own private practice?
Yeah, no, it is the same, to set up my own private practice. And the second idea, obviously, in my mind later on had it is doing an event where I'm getting the high level clients who want to work closely with me for a bigger achievement of their health. So that is a separate thing. But I thought I want to set up clinic first, because that will help me to have more clients, and then those clients can become my event target group in future. But I need to get the traffic in first. So if I open a clinic, because at least through me, through friends, word of mouth, I would get people coming in. That was one thing I was trying to do. And in that scenario, to set up my clinic, I have been just thinking about the ideas on what information I'm going to. So I haven't really, being honest, went that far to collect database. I'm still preparing that thing. And I had few doubts. Remember, we talked about 5-step document to collect the database, or to get your target group, or finding the interest in people. So would that 5-step document would be having their personal details info, or purely on my clinical queries?
Okay, so with that list, or with a document like that, or any lead magnet for that matter, what you want to do is you want to find people that already have interest in your topic, because that's how you start the relationship with people, because the database means everything. So if at some point you want to find your clients and get people to buy your services, you need to first find a group that is actually interested in it. And by starting off with lead magnets, and even doing it the organic way, by putting a post out there, and then get people to subscribe to your ebook on a landing page, which is a free software, for example, that already builds up that database for you, so you can start building up these relationships with people and finding out what it is that they want. So the goal of having a lead magnet always is to get their contact details. So to get their name, their email address, and in this case, I can imagine that phone number can be very useful as well. So you can call them up and get plan maybe a meeting, or a free let's say session maybe, or a paid for session, whatever it is that you want to go and do. And that can be very useful, because by putting a lead magnet out there, let's say this 5-step document, whatever it is that, okay, so basically when you put that out there, you have to have the end desire in mind, so your end goal for them. So let's say they have back pains. for example, right? So then five simple exercises, or actually one simple exercise to do every morning to reduce your back pain by 50% or whatever, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And if you have something out there like that, people who experience those back pains, who in the end might be your target audience, because then with your video you can take that away, those people would be interested in a title like that, because they are the ones experiencing it. So that's why you want to have such a specific title, so that you can catch the attention of exactly those people that you are interested in to have as leads in your database, because they're already suffering from a certain problem that you can solve. So you can then build up that relationship with them. And then if you actually have, let's say, from all your experience in this industry, you know of a certain technique or something that can give them that little win, so that they feel, hey, this actually works for me, then that builds a whole lot of trust with you, with your company, and therefore it is so much more likely for them to then think, oh, I might actually want more with this person or with this company, and actually try out your services. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And in that case, when I say, okay, 5 simple ways of improving your back pain, for example, if I say that, so if they click on that, so the next page should go on their details first, right?
Yes, exactly. So
Yes.
you want to have something like this. So can you see the screen behind me?
Yes.
So it's something like this. Well, let me just get my own camera. Okay. Can you also read what it says there?
Yes.
Okay. So this is then your landing page, and then on that landing page you can have, let's say for us traffic, you have your Facebook post where you put out that title and then put it out in a lot of different groups. This is how you can get organic traffic. It's very, very powerful. When you are operating or creating a business in a certain industry, you want to be in all kinds of entrepreneur or all kinds of Facebook groups on Facebook for free. So let's say there must be a whole lot of physio groups out there, or let's say anything that has to do with healthcare, or with maybe back pains or whatever it is. There are groups for every single thing. For me personally, I'm in all kinds of entrepreneur groups, digital marketing groups, business groups, so that I know that these are the type of people. They're part of that group because they obviously have a business, or want to start a business, or want to do something with digital marketing, or are already doing something with digital marketing. So then when I make a post that is relevant to that group in there, I can get a lot of free traffic to my website, right? So you want to do something like that. You want to search all the Facebook groups out there, relevant groups to your industry, and then request membership there. So then what you do, you make a post, and you can share that post on all these groups that you're part of, and then you get traffic to your website. So then on the website, you say that title, and you want that to send them that document. But in order for them to get that document, they obviously have to put in their name, their email, and in your case, most likely also the phone number, if that's, let's say, if that's appropriate at that stage. Sometimes people do not feel too comfortable to give their phone number, but it depends on your industry, whether that's relevant. For us in events, it's very relevant because we call them up and we want to say, hey, how are you doing? Are you ready for the event? Blah, 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 blah. So that's what we usually do it. And then they opt in, they give the name, the email, and phone number if relevant, and then they're going into your database, and then you send them that email where it has the link to the ebook or to two-page document.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why you want to have a landing page where you can then have them opting in.
Okay. And so I could, for example, create one for the back pain, for example, and that could be one I could create separately for the knee, for example, and that way different people could come in. Then at least I know these are the people who have muscle or the joint problems, and in future they could be my database for any new product I'm going to sell. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And you also want to then tag them, just like what I was explaining to Habib before. You want to tag them according to what they're opting into. So all people who opt into the lead magnet for back pain, you want to tag them as back pain people. And people who opt into knee pain, you want to tag them as knee knee pain people. Because then, let's say you have a new surface there, which is specifically for knee people. You don't want to send it to all people out there. You want to send it just to the people you know this is relevant to. So that's why opt-in, all opt-in pages are so crucial, because sometimes you feel like, oh, how do I know what they have? But they have already shown interest in a specific topic, so you know what problems they are facing, because obviously why they had that interest.
And how do I tag them?
That depends on what
the information.
Yeah, so if it's MailChimp, like what I recommended to Habib, then you have a several lists for several different topics. So let's say I have this back pain ebook or 2-page document. Then what I do is that whenever people opt in on this page, I will connect it to the back pain list. So every time someone opts in, that list grows. So that's in MailChimp, it is with lists. But in Infusionsoft, you just add them to the database, but you tag them and you give them the tag back pain. And so basically you put a label on them. But in MailChimp, it goes through lists. And MailChimp is free, so it's a really nice way to start out building a list, building your database, and getting an email system that can have automatically send out emails to them, such that when they opt in, you already know the email goes straight to them and everything is optimized.
Okay.
Make sense?
And so when I to do this particular process which we have discussed just now, would I need to you know, when I attended Super Live event with Eric, I know we had a little bit of discussion on Facebook marketing, and then he had mentioned that becoming I mean kind of a paying Facebook for marketing, and that works better because there is a lot of benefit we can get in collecting information, collecting the interest group and things like that. So to do this, do I need to become member of Facebook that way, like paying member?
Oh, no. Well, basically, already having a Facebook account allows you to check out everything for your Facebook Business Manager. So on your normal Facebook account, you just click the button Create Advert, and it automatically loads your Facebook Business or the Facebook marketing.
Sorry, Tjibaria, I'm losing your voice. Your voice is breaking.
Oh, okay. Let me try that again. Can you hear me good now?
It's with some music at the back, and it's like string going on and voice is breaking. So I couldn't really hear you what you said in the last.
Okay, I've put my mic closer now. So what I was saying is that every single person who is on Facebook can access the Facebook Business Manager or the Marketing Manager. So all you have to do is on your personal Facebook page, there's the settings, and then you click Create an Advert. And when you do that, it automatically loads that Facebook Manager for you. And there you can already play around with certain things like creating an advert. But to actually place it, you need to put some money down. So you need to couple it to one of your bank cards, which could be your business bank card, and then whenever you want to put your first ad out there, which is then paid marketing, and you target certain people you want to see this ad that you put out there, that's when you say, okay, I'm going to put, let's say, a £5 budget on it per day, and then you start actually using it.
Okay. So in the beginning, I could do it just from my personal page and see what I get, and then I could include the Facebook.
No. What I was saying is that every personal page you can already check everything out. So by clicking Create Advert in your personal account, it loads the Business Manager up for you, and then there you can already play around with tools. But before actually putting an ad out there, you need to pay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
But you can play around with, let's say, audience insights, which is very useful, because there you can, for example, if you want to establish who might be great clients for you or a great target audience, what you can do is you can play around with it, and you can say, okay, I want to, first of all, you see all people on Facebook, and you can see the statistics. You see how many men, how many women, which percentage is in which age range. You can see which pages they like. You can see a lot of information on those people. And then you can say, okay, I select just those people who live in London. So then that group reduces dramatically, and then you can see all the statistics of that group. And then you can still see which age ranges. And then you can maybe see, okay, I'm going to select those people who like this physiotherapy page, for example, because that might be an indication that they actually suffer from some back pains, and therefore they started liking that page, and then hopefully finding out some things they can do to get rid of those pains. That then may be a nice target audience. So by clicking that they like that certain page, you get to see the statistics of them, and you can actually see more what other pages they like, and you start to understand more what this group that you have then selected likes and does on a day-to-day basis, so to speak, and then you can form an opinion if this is the group you want to market to or not, and you can start. It can generate a lot of ideas for yourself to see, hey, I hadn't thought about this, but by looking at audience insights, I can get an idea of who might be my clients to target.
Yeah, great.
And that you can do for free.
Yeah.
But I have one more question for you, because you're still looking for a possible place where you can have your practice, right?
Yeah, and that's why we had discussed this, that in the information I'm going to look for, I'm going to put a tab as location. If I put address, obviously people won't be keen to give their address, but if I put location, for example, Ealing, for example, somebody puts at East London, so that way it gives me interest population, and that was the area where then I could whether hire or buy my clinic over there. I was also, over the time, I have also gone on website looking at what already well-established clinics are doing, and I found that Central London have quite a lot of clinics with quite big teams, and which made me think, I don't know whether that probably is not a good area for me to set up, even though I know the clients over there would be like very health freak and they would pay anything to get this support. But at the same time, there are so many clinics, also kind of a clinic who has their clinic working from different locations. So such kind of thing, which makes it quite competitive for me as a new person to set up.
Yeah,
and
what I was thinking,
different services, not only physio, they have different alternative medicine services, which makes that easy access for them under one umbrella, everything.
Right. Yes, I understand. So one of the things that I was thinking about is when you are getting your own clinic, and especially then facing all these competitiveness in areas of clinics that are already there for quite some time and already have this reputation and all their customers. There's obviously a lot of money that goes into the renting of the clinic, and a lot of extra costs that are involved with it. And I was thinking, could there be a way that your business model, so to speak, is completely different to anyone else out there, and would be such that you do not have your own clinic, but you actually go and visit your customers, and to actually make it, let's say, more appealing to some target groups that have less mobility. And what I was thinking then is that you might even want to consider doing this for, let's say, all elderly homes where you have a lot of people that are older but may still require these services for the people that are out there, or maybe other types of centers where people do require these services, but the people may not be able to go and go to a clinic, and you could then save on costs, and you can be very appealing to those type of centers or people even that have less mobility but still require the physiotherapy. So would that be something that you can look into?
In those areas, yes.
Yeah, because that well, then it doesn't matter which area, because you are mobile to go and visit your clients on whichever location it would be necessary. So let's say there's this elderly care home on another side of London, then it doesn't really matter to you because you can still go and schedule certain meetings in or appointments where you go and visit the clients and perform your services and then go back home. So the reason why I was thinking about this, because right now it's important for you to get your sales in and to start growing the business instead of losing or paying for a lot of money without actually having your solid customer base already. And if you say, okay, I'm now going to find a place first, but I don't have any customers yet, then every month you have these outgoings and you're very desperate to get those incomings. And in that case, you might actually want to turn it around and get your clients first. And then when you say, hey, I already have 20 clients that I know actually are also able to travel to this place, this central place that is close to, let's say, most of them, then it's maybe the time to say, okay, now I want to open something. But if already in the beginning, without having your own customer base, you go and say, okay, I'm going to invest and pay, let's say, so many thousands every single month, it will be you will definitely be desperate to get those clients in, and you might make it harder for yourself instead of if you turn it around and get your clients first.
Yeah, but I also think, and that has been in my mind, I had spoken to Yogita in our group.
Yeah.
So she works in one of the catering services. They cater the service for any type of services. And so I was talking to her. She probably works in a big company where they have different office space. And I had thought of doing that going in that, like linking with her, could I come to your office if you speak to your manager, and I could come as a physio to help them preventing work-related muscle and joint injuries.
Yes.
And in that way, if people said yes, they were interested, I mean, obviously they would see what I can do there as a quick assessment or helping them. And at least then they know that if in future they have a muscle or joint problem, they could come and see me. But then I thought, for that event, I need to have my business card ready in terms of, okay, this is where I work and this is where I'm based, or if you need help, give me a call on this number. But then I don't have that, because if they ask, okay, where you are based, if we want to come for one-to-one sessions, how do I, that's where my mind became like, I need to have a clinic first. Because
okay. But that's basically old-fashioned. Don't think like that. What you have to think of is to be flexible, and that's actually one of the things that was covered during Business Systems Mastery last week, is that you will be able to have that flexibility in whichever meeting you have with a client or with a group of clients or with a whole company, maybe if you are there coming in-house, by asking them the right questions, and then okay, I understand what are the main problems that they are facing, and whichever things that come up then, so certain things that they might want to have an appointment with you, you are able then to translate and to think, okay, how can I best meet the need of these people, and how can I then apply onto that, and to have a clinic per se, so that you can show them where you work. That's not necessary, because you can always say, I come to you. Or one other possibility is that you say, okay, if this group of people really wants to come and have a big session with me, you might rent something out for 1 day or something like that, because you have. Then you think of those type of things. But to right now first start paying out all these costs without even having any clients, that's actually not the smart way about it. And what you just mentioned, it sounds very nice, because that's slight different change in let's say the marketing, because let's say the things that you are educating them in is still physiotherapy, is still the same things that you, based on your experience and your knowledge, you can share with them. The only easier aspect of this is that you can then go to them, you don't have the cost to worry about, and you're still able to give your expertise that can solve their problems, which is in offices. Obviously, a lot of people can get that back pain. And if you speak to a whole lot of offices out there, many of them, a few of them definitely will say, hey, yeah, actually, we are looking for that, and we would like you to come in. And then obviously you have your pitch ready, and you'll be able to then listen and ask the right questions, so you can find out what are the problems that they are facing, and how can I then offer my solutions to them. Because never put yourself into one box. You have a variety of knowledge, a variety of expertise, and whichever way the potential clients need you to help them, you have to really listen and say, okay, yes, I can help with this. Yes, I can help with that, and all these different things. And be flexible in that. And whenever you come in for a meeting like that, be the one who first asks, okay, what are the main pain points that you see right now? So then when you know that you can then say, hey, but I can offer a solution for that. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes. So would you say that I should try to arrange these meetings in terms of personal contacts or personal meeting basis, or should I advertise something like that on Facebook, that this is I could do by coming to your companies or events to give you a insight of how physiotherapy techniques or strategies or tools could help you to prevent and take care of your health better at work, or something like that? So should I make a Facebook advert on this, or should I personally contact companies?
Yes, I think that's the way to go, because right now you don't yet know which way would be the best way to go in, because you still have to have these conversations with companies to be able to see, oh, okay, so this is what they need. And then so in the beginning right now you have to have something in your head that's your 1.0 version of your physio services, or physio pain prevention services, or whichever way you want to call it. You have your first version of that, and you think, okay, these are different things that I can mean to people to prevent back pain, and to no longer be reactive, but to be preventive, so you can actually make sure that people don't get those pains. And obviously, in the back of your head, you do know that if they do get those pains, you are the first person they go to, because you already have that relationship, right? So that's the first thing that you do. Then what I would do is call up your Gita and say, hey, what can we, which collaboration can we start? So if she has contacts and she is able to put you in contact with companies that might have interest in those preventive sessions, or whatever thing, you can then go into their company to say, hey, I can teach you those things and make sure that your team is happy and healthy, and therefore you can get top productivity in your team, and especially for the CEOs and everything, they would like that their team is happy and also healthy, because therefore the results are better for the company. Ask her what contacts she can help you with, and make it appealing for her as well. So maybe if she brings you into contact with a company, and that company ends up paying you, give her a commission on it, something like that. And then
that's
it's
what
really
we discussed already. Yeah, we did talk about that we will be sharing some together.
Yeah. So then you make it appealing. But I would definitely go that route, and then have as many conversations as possible. And whenever you have that conversation, and the first time, maybe the best case scenario is you have such a solid pitch that they say, hey, yes, we would like you to do that. Come in, and we'll have our first sessions, or we can see how it works. Or other case scenario is that you have this conversation, and you figure out that actually what you thought was the ideal thing to offer to them is not ideal at all, but you learn from asking the right questions and getting those answers to say, oh, actually what they need is this and this, and then you call the next company and the next company. And I think after having a lot of these conversations, you get a better idea of how you could do this business model and actually get some clients in this way. And then by our next meeting, you might already have your first corporate client in that sense.
Yeah. Okay.
I think in terms of the cost, that's way more efficient, because it's the same knowledge that you are applying in solving people's problems, but it is without the costs that your own clinic would have. And it will become very let's say dreadful for you if you have your clinic and if you're paying months of rent, but you are struggling getting your customers. So that's why turning it around is a lot more easier for you, and a lot better for your bank account.
Yes. Sure. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, and in the meantime, also think about, okay, getting a MailChimp there. Every contact that you speak, put it into your database, keep the relationship building going. But also, and this is something that I also discussed with Sanya, for example, is do your competitor research. Look at other companies in the physiotherapy sector and see what they are doing. See if there are people, I'm sure there are people who have already a business in this, that they're actually going to other companies, to corporates, and train their team such that they have prevention for these how do you say, I don't know what the name was you called it, but they get muscle pains from sitting in the or working in for a long time in the wrong way.
Yes.
Exactly. There must be other businesses out there doing this already. So go and find those businesses, model them, study them, and then apply it to yours.
Yeah.
And let me give you a few tools that you can then test it with. So I've mentioned it, I think, in the previous call already, but just to be sure. SimilarWeb is a very good one. SpyFu is a very good one to study competitors. Then there is, oh yeah, Alexa is a very good one. Alexa is just paid, but SimilarWeb and SpyFu are already good tools. That first of all, you have to find one. You have to find one competitor. And it might even be another clinic that you start out with that. You put that website in SimilarWeb, and then SimilarWeb will also show you who are their competitors. And then you can find the better and the better and the better, and then you find your top 10 top competitors out there. And then you can see how it is that they're doing their marketing, what type of information do they have on their landing pages, how are they sending out their emails. You opt into everything so that you can see, oh, okay, so this is how they do it. Obviously it works, because if those are pages that have, let's say, thousands and thousands of people landing on their pages and visit their websites every single day, then obviously they know what they are doing, and you can start modeling that for your business.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Thank you.
Cool.
That was very helpful. Thanks. I have few things to work on now. Yes.
Yeah. So let's do this. First client by next call.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So tomorrow, first thing, call up your Gita or send her a message and say, hey, how can we strike a nice deal together that's appealing for both of us? She's putting you in contact with those companies, and her making a nice split on it, or a nice commission if they end up being your clients.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And I'm looking forward to hear the results next month.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks very much,
you.
Tjibaria. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, nice. So it has almost been 2 hours. So what I suggest is we take a 3-minute break for me to be able to drink a little bit of water, and you guys also to have maybe a pop into the restroom, and then we continue at 21:50. So in 3 minutes. So see you guys in 3 minutes time. Okie dokie, welcome back everyone. Let me turn back on the camera and check the group. Okay, no more questions came in. Nice. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute our next person, which is Sanya. So unmuting Sanya right now. Hello, Sanya.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing? Oh.
I had a day off today, well, a bit, so I could rest because I realized I haven't really sat down for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. all on top of the business and all the activities that you are engaged with.
Yes, and the masters and the moving. And did Eric tell you that we got stuck in the middle of the water, like the boat broke down?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I've had a bit of an adventurous 2 weeks, but yeah, I'm doing really good. I actually want to say thank you so much, for the mastermind, because as I mentioned, the reason I couldn't make it to BSM was because I had 2 client meetings over the weekend, like Friday and Saturday. Yeah, the first one, I managed to sell and upsell, maybe 2 upsells, so they are ready to for the base package, they're ready to go. And the second and third, they're like, yeah, and they were asking me all these other things that I could do already. So yeah, that, and then on Saturday, and that's for this other business, I'll go into it, and then the second one was for a coaching client, and I was so nervous, especially because my train got delayed, so I was getting late. But then in the cab on the way to meet her, I the driver was just asking me what do you do, and I basically was practicing my pitch on him. So and I used so many of the skills that Eric taught, to do with how to pitch and stuff. And when it came to talking to her, I was a lot less nervous. And also I used the ABC price drop, double drop. And she didn't even ask for the second drop. She just said because she needs to speak to her parents because she's 23, 24. So she would have to ask her parents for the money, but she said she'll get back to me. So what you said earlier about creating that urgency, I'm going to follow her up tomorrow with an email and do that. So yeah, that was cool. And yeah, it really helped in creating that pricing structure, and I could see how it was her deciding to go with the middle option, the low, medium, and high price thing. The high price thing was no way would that work, but she could have chose the middle one herself, which I saw how that worked out.
Nice, really nice. So both those conversations were positive, and from one you get she will ask her parents, and the other one.
So the other one, okay, so I have multiple businesses kind of going at once now. So so first with the coaching, this is one client that I've had the meeting with. I have 2 others who I've had referrals. So what I thought I would do in the meanwhile that I'm setting up my own funnel and advertising myself, I, through my dad, have been speaking to doctors who obviously work with a lot of ADHD clients and clients who struggle with executive function. So organizing, prioritizing, timekeeping, working memory, flexibility of thought, all these things to kind of get referrals. So that's how I'm getting these clients. So I'm obviously having to give a little bit of commission, 30–40%, depending on the client. But I think that's totally worth it because I'm so, this is still very new for me in terms of the marketing side. So I'm more than happy to do that. And also they're really solid clients because they have come through a doctor, so there's a lot of trust there. Yeah, so they are kind of asking me for what I can, they're already ready and kind of primed to take the action to kind of help themselves, which is really cool. And then on that coaching side, I've also been speaking to an NLP coach to maybe do a weekend intensive, but that's not in London. So I was wondering if you could recommend somebody as well who would be a good person to learn NLP from, because I learn more from being taught than reading, because I've been doing that, but I will benefit from, I think, learning from somebody. If you have any suggestions, because I can't do master's till April. So in the meanwhile.
In that case, actually, I do not know, but I can. I think it would be best to drop Eric a message for that. to say if he knows anybody. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. And then also regarding that, Master the Stage, and I wanted to ask you in terms of Launch Your Business, Master the Stage, is there going to be recordings available to us as well for BSN? Because I can't access them.
Master Stage, you should probably already have access to.
Because I got the link only for Master the Stage and it's not working at the.
Oh, if it's not working, then please send an email to team@hacademy.com, and then we can check what's going on, and then resend you the link if you or recreate a password for you, if that's the case. Yeah.
And what
and
about
business, the online course has been created, but there's still some final tweaks that need to be made before we can launch it and send it out to everybody. Only thing is that we're going to make a lot of changes in the next edition of Launch Your Business, and that event will be let's say the actual recorded event. So, but that one will only be available after this November edition.
Yeah, because I think from last call, what we discussed was creating this funnel, having it running, and I've been really busy, but I've been doing my best, and I think it would help me to just go over certain points.
Yeah. So definitely for all participants from the previous Launch Your Business, you get this one, the online version of that event, you get for free. But then the next editions, those ones will be only become available later for an investment.
Okay, cool. That's fine. So yeah, just whenever that's done, that'll be really helpful for me to just be able to launch everything more successfully.
Yes.
And then so that's first thing. Secondly, you were there, but just to update as well myself there. So regarding the larger volunteering development NGO, I think the next action point is kind of the meeting with Acumen, what Eric suggested, to meet them. So I have to kind of chase up Eric when he's available to meet them. And on my end, through my masters, there's a lot of opportunities to do a lot of networking in this area coming up. So I'm gonna try and get more and more information. There's a couple of networks of people who are working in this field of using, educating people in say business, for example, what I'm interested in, or educating in different areas to create sustainable development in communities. There's already some networks out there, so I will do that in the meanwhile as action for myself in the next month. And then the third thing, which was the client meeting I had on Friday that I sold on, is it's a little bit of a more complex business, but I'll try my best to explain it. So when people have working memory deficit that is really bad, so for example, they don't remember that they need to brush their teeth, and they don't remember, it's a really basic one, they don't remember how to brush their teeth, and then they don't, and then same with grooming or hygiene, or it can even go up to social situations, things like that. So in those situations, currently the only thing that's available is written social stories. So those are written books that say okay, if you want to say, for example, have a social interaction, you should do this, 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 and this. But if it's written down, for most people that doesn't actually work. So what I'm developing, and I think this is something that needs to kind of be patented because it doesn't exist, is creating a virtual version of those so that it can be used to help people successfully carry out those daily tasks, and then going into more complex versions of that for learning stuff, for if you're a young person learning educating on numbers or reading or whatever, and then up to social situations. So this is the conversation I had on Friday, and so I kind of sold them, I kind of suggested them a basic package of really basic two different not videos, but two different instances of teaching, and I spent 2 hours with them to understand what that client needed, their patient who has severe autism, and they were ready to pay, and I was really worried how much to pitch them, and I pitched more than I was planning on, and they agreed. So I was really happy that the sell that I had prepared kind of worked that well, that even what I had thought it was worth got exceeded by £500. So I was really happy.
Nice.
And that like I said to them, that's the basic package, and then on top of that, we can do more complex things. And they're already agreed to do another 4 or 5 different instances, which are about £500 to £700 each. So I think at the moment, like it's looking to be around a 5 to 7K sale with like potential to grow. And they have many different patients, and there are different people in this industry who desperately need this. So I think if I can find the right people to work with on it, I can really make it a success and hopefully automate it as much as possible, so that the only input I need to have is the initial working with the patients to understand exactly what they need, and then write a script, and then, you know, send it over to animators and let them use whatever resources we create over time to just work with them. And yeah, so that I was really happy about. Yeah, so again, this came through referral, but like at the moment I'm so happy to just start that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's me.
It's really amazing what you're doing and how you are on top of all of that aside from your masters. Really, really amazing.
Thank you.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's why today I just slept.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to sleep once in a while. Kavita is saying congratulations, well done to her.
Thank you so much. I'm really, like, obviously I know this is just the beginning, because I was so nervous, like, to meet both times, especially the client, like when it was the one-to-one for the coaching. I was really worried. And I'm still kind of not, because that's not been like 100% confirmed. And I have that little voice in my head being like, no, that's not going to work out. But I'm really like just determined that I should, because I know I can help her. So at the end of the day, that's all that really matters, right?
Yeah. You know, what is also very important in sealing deals is to have a very solid follow-up. So even if a client paid, that still doesn't always say something, because there's this right for people to ask for a refund and all these different things. So what you always have to do, and this is something that works for events, so also for Kalpit and Kavita, that will be important to know, especially if you're taking it to India, is that whenever people buy something from you, you have to give them that extra security, because they're always going to get cold feet, because they think, oh, especially with these high-end products that they have spent several hundreds to several thousands of pounds, they need to know that, oh, did I actually make the right decision in this, or should I, you know, back out on it? And that's why the follow-up is crucial in actually getting the deal to stick. That's why after events, a lot of the time where we make big sales like these 10K plus packages, then we also have extra care, extra over delivering, extra webinars to make people see that what they have bought into is solid, and that the customer service is there, and that they've actually created or bought something that is very professional. And that's why every time that someone buys something with us, we always send out an email that says, welcome to the blah, 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 whatever the package is, and this is how it works, this is what the package includes, this is how you can contact us, all these different things, so that they get this extra security and think, okay, yes, I did make the right decision. And this cold feet syndrome happens several moments after a sale has been made, and that's why the follow-up is very, very strong. Is very crucial, and you have to have strong follow-up to be able to get things right. And the same holds for clients that you are still following up with, because then there's multiple ways how you can then get through to them. In this case, you're saying, okay, I'm gonna send an email out to them. That may help, but also saying, well, the strongest way is that at the end of the conversation, and if it seems that the decision cannot be made at that moment in time already, the first thing is you actually want to seal the deal. You want to get the transaction there as well. But if that's not possible, then obviously you have a little bit of a push away, saying that you cannot guarantee it. Which obviously, if you are speaking to so many different referrals, then you might not be able to guarantee it, because you have your masters and you have so many different businesses to look into. You might not be able to take on an extra client if you close another deal. So you might want to just start with a small group, which is genuine and is real. And then you say, okay, but because, you know, I really think this can help you, let's do this. I'm gonna, I cannot guarantee anything, but let's have a call on this and that date, and then we see whether it will work out for you. And that's the best I can do. And then I have that urgency there to be able to then get to keep it to keep the momentum there in the sales conversation. And right now, obviously, this person has said to go talk to the parents. So maybe right now, also following up with a call can actually be beneficial to you too, to see, okay, let's have this one-to-one chat, and then see, you know, where do we stand in this. And whenever you have that conversation, don't make it sound like you need that client. Always be the way that, you know, there's hundreds of other people that you are able to help, but you do see that this can really help that person, and therefore you are taking that extra effort to put that that extra contact in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will definitely.
One thing that I do want to say, so for this client of the business where you want to animate the whole process. So did they already transact?
No, so I need to send an. I'm not really sure how to do that yet because, like, I don't have any infrastructure in place for this business at all. In terms of, I can just run it through my like Dignify company if that's not a problem. It's just in terms of like creating a contract, getting them to sign it, having a way to transfer money. I don't have that in place, so
Okay, do you have a business bank account?
Yes.
Okay, so the easiest way how you can seal the deal is to say, okay, thank you very much for the conversation. This is what we discussed. Please make the payment to this account. These are the account details. Please make it by this and this date. And you can actually send them an invoice. You can use this invoice generator tool. It's a very simple one. Let me just put it out there. Invoice generator. And create a nice professional invoice and send it. Let me send it to all of you. There you go. And then you can just invoice the client, because obviously if you have had that conversation, you can never let it go cold, so to speak. So basically during the sales conversation and the meeting and the pitch and everything, the temperature went up and you had that sort of agreement, but without any transaction, nothing is set in stone yet. So you have to make sure to keep that momentum there, keep the temperature high, so that you can actually close the deal there. And yeah, that's a way to do it. You can also just open an account at stripe.com. I'm just sending it to all of you as well. That's a payment system we make use of a lot. They ask, I think, for EU cards, they have a 1.14% fee that they take on every transaction, which is very agreeable. And you can just couple this to your business bank account. So then the money comes in on Stripe, and then after they take off the fee, several days, the money is then on your business bank account. So that's very useful. And you can also use Stripe then to couple it to any landing page software where you can have automated things.
Why Stripe and not a direct bank transfer?
Well, you can do both. So Stripe is very useful if you want to automate things.
Okay.
Yeah, but obviously the easiest is a bank transfer. However, there's a lot of freedom there too. So one of the things that is very, let's say, useful in business meetings is you still taking control, also taking control in the payment. So that's why a lot of the time, even if you have a phone conversation, you can already transact over the phone. And the way to do it is like this: you explain what you or you summarize what it is that you have discussed, and then you say, okay, so are you ready to grab this opportunity? Great, let me secure your space for you. So all I need from you is now your contact details. So let's go through that process, and then you transact online by you filling in their details. Now the usual thing that is very important is that one of the things that we do is we before actually going into that process, for where we ask for details, we say, we have our terms and conditions and our privacy policy on our website. So if you go to hacademy.com and you scroll all the way down, you can click on terms and conditions and you can click on privacy policy. If you want to read them before going ahead, that is fine by all means. But if you are happy to proceed right now, that's fine too. And then they are presented with going through all the terms and conditions and privacy policy and all these documentation, which is an obligation by law. And if they are happy, because most people don't like to read so much, then they give their consent, and then you can actually take their details over the phone and say, okay, can I get your, sometimes address details are necessary, and sometimes it's just the bank details, and actually make that transaction right then and there and keep the control. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And in terms of like deposit, what is your like suggested like percentage? Like what percentage of the payment would you suggest to ask in deposit? Or do you think it should be that from the beginning you charge the whole amount?
The best way for any business is actually to get the full transaction straight away. But not always is that a possibility to the client, especially if it's the higher priced products, and therefore it really depends on your client's conversation. So what we see within H Academy a lot of the time is that we want to help startup businesses, or we're helping people who are already in business but want to take it to the next level. But especially what we see for startup businesses, sometimes people do not really have the funds yet, or are not aware of a way to actually get the funds, and therefore a lot of the times we make exceptions, and we say, okay, I can really see that this would help you right now, our online program or coaching or whatever it is that we have, and therefore in this case we will accept this amount as a deposit, and then you can do monthly payments of whichever amount depending on what type of program it is. So in this case we are a lot of the times very, let's say, flexible, and we really listen to what the affordability is of the other party, and we offer them whatever we think that lies within that affordability and what will really be there to help them and take them to that next level, whether it's in awareness, in motivation, in business strategies, in marketing, in speaking, in spirituality, all these different areas. And then, we are quite flexible in that. However, what is very important as well is that people who pay more attention, as Eric always says. So that's why if it's, let's say, a few K product, a lot of the times the least that we expect as a deposit is 2K or 1K, because if people are not able to invest that amount, a lot of the time the commitment isn't there at all.
Okay.
So yeah, so it depends. You get a feel for it once you get more and more clients, and sometimes you might have that feeling. You just say, I really want to help you, so you're gonna want to lower the bar, and even sometimes that is because you think, oh, I really want to strike this deal for this customer because I want to get this business off the ground. But you always have to remember as well that if people are not able to put skin in the game, a lot of the times it's going to be very difficult interaction as well. If you're coaching people or if you're having any types of business relationship that you're building up. Yeah, it is definitely good to have their commitment in it, because again, if they put their money down, a lot of the time they want to take more action to be able to make the most of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so yeah, regarding the also the international NGO stuff, I told you last time that I was going to speak to somebody that I worked with at the NGO I volunteered in Panama.
How did it go?
Yeah, it went really well actually. He was really detailed and helpful, and he went through like all what they're doing at the moment, and he also went through how they work on the ground, like how they keep things sustainable, like in between teams going out there from the US or England, how they keep the projects running and stuff. So that was really helpful to understand. He also told me how now they're like the government wants to kind of expand what they're doing themselves across the whole country, which was really cool. especially what they, like his section of their work is around the business and the creating microfinancing and community banks and having like running small businesses, which was particularly relevant, I guess, to me. And offered that if I wanted, I could go out and meet, like spend time with him and go through what they're doing. So maybe do like a week or two to like find out what they're doing. And I was thinking that might actually be really helpful for me in terms of also my studies, but massively to do with if I want to start something myself. And he was kind of willing to help me get their documentation and stuff so I could understand how they function. So I was thinking like maybe in February or something going out, because I've actually changing my master's to part-time as things are going a lot faster than I expected them to. So in trying to respect my health, I'm gonna try and do it part-time so I don't die. So I was thinking, like, what do you think about going for like 2 weeks to kind of even more understand how they work and stuff? Do you think
that's really good. Yeah. If you want to set up any type of organization, whether it is a business or whether it is an NGO or a charity, it is so crucial to actually see how things work. A lot of the time people have no idea, and you can never have any idea about all the practicalities. But if you go out there and actually spend time with people that you aspire to be like, or that have certain results that you want to also create, it's always very, very crucial to go and spend that time with them and to learn and ask as much questions as you can. Get your hands on manuals or any type of thing that they may have, so you can go and model those things. So I think that's crucial if you want to set up your NGO. What I do want to say, and this is also something that Eric has said before, maybe not directly to you, but in the group itself, is that do realize that again, scattered focus will also make it a little bit more difficult maybe to get certain things up. And if you're focusing on your NGO, and if you're focusing on this business and that business and your masters, it is amazing what you're doing, but again, also the health becomes important. You have to respect the fact that you also need rest, and I can speak from experience with regards to that. You have to find the right balance, and I know you are an exceptional youth and you are able to do 100 different things at the same time, but do realize that whenever you do split your focus on different things, it goes slower than if you were to put your focus on one thing and completely do that. Because with your abilities, you are able to already do such great things in different areas. Imagine how great things you can do when you just put your mind to one thing. So do keep that into consideration, and especially when it comes to the different deals that you have right now, focus on sealing them and focus on giving the best service possible before getting into more deals, for example, because then you build up this solid rapport, you get the money in, and after that you're able to grow it and excel it even further, because you get that experience and you have this client who you are then able to have such a good relationship with, that they are doing all these upsells, and you basically have a client for life, and then you are able to then get testimonials in and grow the business even further. So I would say keep that in the back of your mind, and I know you're very, very ambitious and you can do it, but balance is important as well, so don't forget about that.
Yeah, I think you said about like sealing the deal and like building that, like to begin with, having that over delivery, that's something I know I struggle with, because like for me, like when it comes to consistency, when I'm really excited about something, I can have that consistency, and then when something like, and if it's something really challenging, I can have that consistency, but then when everything's kind of just going well, but isn't that like complicated, I kind of lose interest a little bit. So I have to really kind of make myself develop that kind of discipline, that I can make sure that all the follow-ups and stuff are done without any kind of mistake, because you're right, at the moment reputation is really valuable, and if I from the beginning don't kind of build that kind of relationship, then it will damage me going forward. So I think you're totally right. I think that's,
and especially if they are referral based, this is very important, because I think you have a gold mine when it comes to getting all these high quality leads in, and you being able to have, let's say, 100% results so far in speaking to all these clients and converting them to actually customers of yours. So yeah, do stay aware of the fact that that is your gold mine, and you want to make sure that you develop that further and get it to the next level, and not weak that down and then later have to struggle, doing all other kinds of marketing and struggling to get leads in, which might not even be that high quality that you have right now. So do put in the focus on that to secure what you have right now.
So I will put this off in terms of going anywhere, because I think 2 weeks is a long time as well. I'll put this off till maybe March or something, and at the moment focus on cultivating what I have in front of me. And with this I can look at as well, like in terms of looking at my studies, I know I'll be a lot more free going into April than I am now, than I would be till like February. So I will put this on a back burner, but just keep cultivating that relationship with that person in here, so I can
and learn, keep on learning, because every first client, it's a whole new world, and especially like you mentioned that whole journey of being a little bit nervous before you had that pitch, and doing so really well, and having these clients right now, then meeting with them and having the first sessions, it might be a little bit of that same feeling, a little bit nervous. You don't know exactly what to do because it's the first time, and that's especially the moments that you have to be on top of it and really see, okay, make your notes. If something went well, that's good, then make sure to continue to do that, and when something didn't go so well, don't be disappointed, but just improve and put the hours in that it deserves, so that you can really flourish these first few clients, and you can build up a solid reputation. But on the other hand, when you are mentioning you have this contact with this NGO person, and you do envision going on a trip with them in let's say a few months down the line, do seal that deal as well. Because it's not like you have to go on the trip right now and therefore not being able to focus on your clients, but you do want to keep that contact well and build up that relationship with that person as well, because that's something that you can really help you further down the line. So you want to be friendly, respectful, but also you want them to take you serious. So if you say, hey, I want to go with you guys on a trip and I want to learn from you, which is an amazing offer that they have given you, to also come across as the serious person that you are and say, okay, hey, I really love to do that. Let's plan it in, and let's plan it in the beginning of 2018, and then we can discuss further details. But at least then they know you're serious and you're gonna go for it, and this is the time scale in which you guys are talking.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. And with I'm reluctant to say this with this conversation we just had, but so I had this opportunity come across me. I know some people in Bristol, and they run a street food business, and as a family, and I always I have a connection to Japan, and I always travel there for work and for family and friends. So this time when I went, I know that there's certain street food that in Japan is very famous and is becoming kind of more and more trendy in the UK. And I brought back the machine, how you make it, like just for myself. And then we met them, and I was talking to them about their business and how they're growing and stuff. And they have certain limitations to how much they can grow because of their language ability, because they are from India, but their English is not very good. So they're very limited on how much they can grow. And I kind of just briefly kind of semi-pitched him, but by accident, about doing something to do more with like Japanese street food, and like how, for me, like I am very busy, so I said to him that I wouldn't really be able to do much in terms of like my physical time and stuff. I'm not that available. And he said, yeah, to be honest, like we just need certain things done for us, and if you can provide the branding and the like concept, then we don't mind running it. So I haven't like responded yet, but I really kind of want to take that forward as well. And I was speaking to my mom, and maybe I can give her that responsibility and I just be the idea person. But I heard Eric speaking to somebody about the franchise papers that you guys have, like that from Yo-Yo Noodle. not like an immediate request, but I think he said to somebody that we would need to sign an NDA not to sell it and stuff, which is totally cool. But I think that might be really helpful. So then I don't spend too much of my time. Like, hopefully I can just do the like broader like vision stuff, and then when it comes to it, maybe selling it, pitching it for a franchise in the future, and that's it. And then I let my mom do it and they do it, because after the mastermind I was really like touched, because I asked about that thing about trusting people and like developing leaders. Like, that's what I asked Eric about, and what he shared about how you kind of really focus on that person, what they need for you, for this deal to work. And if that's fine with you, then it doesn't matter what that is. Like, he gave the example of if that person needs 90% of profit to make it forward, then if that's what they need, then that's fine. If you're happy with it, you should still trust that person. So after that, it kind of changed my perspective, because from the beginning I was a little bit feeling maybe it's not good because it's like my idea and I don't want just to give it to somebody and do this work and then they have responsibility for it or something. But if that's what it takes, and I think it will be quite a cool, I mean, to be honest, I just want to eat that myself. I think I just quite like to eat that food myself. So not having to cook it myself. So maybe yeah, that would be really helpful, I think, going forward.
Yeah, nice. So send me an email and request the franchise document, and I send you the NDA, and we can send you those documents over. And yeah, I can see you have such a big entrepreneurial spirit. So by all means, go and do it. Just be aware of the possible pitfalls and the fact that you can't do every single thing, but in this case the situation is also different because you work together with your mom, you work together with your dad. So as a, let's say, bigger family team, you can have multiple projects running, and yeah, by all means, go for it.
Okay, cool. I'll send you that email. Thank you. And
Nice,
then I have one question and one thing to just tell you. One is that Jane Tsai, she joined the mentorship program at the last Superpower Live. Jane Tsai, she's she's my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that, but I brought her to that. So just to let you know.
Nice, I had a nice chat with her as well, and she mentioned that you guys are friends.
Yeah. And then secondly, with Bali, do you know if that's still going ahead because of the whole volcano thing?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Okay,
what's the volcano thing? I didn't know about it.
Possibility of volcano erupting in Bali, and it being safe to be there.
Oh, so, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why because my mom is going as part of the program with Tim, and also I was thinking, because I couldn't make it for Vietnam, I was kind of wondering if it would be good for me or not. I'm still not sure, but I just had a question about whether or not that was still going ahead because of that, like, environmental issue.
Oh, okay, right. So yeah, I didn't know about that, but I think yeah, I'm going to mention it to the team and then to have a look into that before before making that decision. I didn't know about it.
Okay, thanks. Cool. Yeah, I think that's my last question. So thank you. Thank you for everything. Honestly, it's making such a big difference.
Thank you, and keep on rocking it, Sanya. But also make sure to rest, because if you do not take enough rest, you may also get ill and not be able to do anything and lose everything that way. And in that case, I can speak from experience, because as I am branded as the non-sleeper, I did have that at some point. I was running multiple businesses, so H Academy and 2 of my own businesses at the same time, doing things at day and night, and I got ill for 3 months, which wasn't very productive at all. So yeah, make sure to watch your health, because health is number 1, and then with this good health you can run as much as you believe and feel you can do, and then you can handle the world.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Tjibaria.
You're very welcome. Great. Thank you, Sanya.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for your great participation in in this webinar. And I really would like to ask you, as well as I always ask, please do record a video in the Eric Ho Superhero Academy group and share what you took from this call. What are your learnings? What are the next things that you are going to be working on? And to just pass it on to the rest of the group, but also to inspire the rest of the group because of the great progress that you guys are making, the great learnings that you guys are teaching, and also to be held accountable. Because if you say, hey, by the next month I'm going to do this, and this, please hold me accountable, then the group is there also to support you, and you have this little thing in your head that you know, okay, I've said it out now, I put it out there, now I better work to make it happen. So that's definitely going to be helpful as well. So I do expect you guys to make a video either tonight still or tomorrow, and yeah, and to share with the rest of the group what your progress has been, and all these other things, or what you took from the call and what your action plan is. Because teaching is learning, so that if you explain the things that you took from this call to other people, you are more integrating it with your own being, but also you're inspiring the rest of the group and teaching the rest of the group, which is definitely beneficial to all of your growth. So I'm looking forward to see your videos out there. And for the rest, I would like to wish you a very nice evening and catch you guys on the next call or at the next event, whichever is first. So thank you guys very much and see you guys soon. Bye-bye.